Well, this is just going to be a short in-progress video, so I've torn out most of the internal hardware components, motherboard's out. I haven't drained my loop yet, so what I'm going to do is I got my bucket here, so I'll be using this bucket in order to drain it, and then I'll just blow on the end of the tubing to clear out the rest of it until there's enough out that I can just start disconnecting tubing and pulling out the components and draining them one at a time. You can see my temperature probe for my air fans, which are these ones, and then I've got a separate temperature probe down here for my water fans, which controls these ones and these ones, the ones on the front radiator. I've got a better picture in my mind of what I want to do for this particular build. I think I want to clean up the tubing, or the tubing's fine. I want to clean up the wiring a little bit. So here on the back especially, it's a total mess, and there's a lot of sort of extra. If there's any way that I can reduce the overall amount of clutter a little bit, that would be great, especially down in the bottom. So that's one of the things I'm going to be trying to do. I also desperately, I had to do this anyway just to clean out my water loop. Check out this block. Is that disgusting or what? Ew. And I'm going to try and get you guys an angle of it here, but do you see this? Here. I don't know how to get it to focus. But there's text. There's text on the block. So, shoot, this is really hard to show with it reflecting like that. But it's on the other side. There we go. I think we got it now. It's on the other side of the plexi, so it's not on the side that I'm touching. It's on the other side, and there's text that goes like this, and then there's a black line that runs from here all the way across to here. There's a www. something. The most bizarre thing I've ever seen. So so that was kind of weird. Oh, what else we got? So yeah, there's my old motherboard. RAID card. That's one of the other things I have to figure out over the course of this project. This fan is really loud, but it needs to be on there in order to cool the battery backup unit. So I'm either going to pull the battery backup unit off of it, or I'm going to figure out a better way to cool it that doesn't involve this loud, obnoxious little tiny fan. It made most of the noise in my system, so it's got to go. The advantage of the battery backup unit is that if my RAID array fails in the middle of a write operation, or while something is still in the cache of the RAID card and not yet on my drives, it's like partially in both places, it can cause the data to be corrupted. So the battery backup will flush the cache to, I don't remember, it flushes it somewhere, whatever. Or from RAM to something, I don't know. Anyway, it prevents corruption, and but what happened was it was overheating, so I had to put a fan on it, and then it's loud, so that's annoying. So yeah, reservoirs, dirty. These are really hard to clean. I love the MC Res Micro, but I really wish it was easier to clean, so that's one of the things I'll be doing. I've pulled off half of my SSDs so far, so I've got to pull off the other half of them. Still going to be sticking with the same SSD configuration. I mean, when you have 8 SSDs, it doesn't matter if they're SATA 2 or SATA 3, you're going to be limited by other things other than the interface to each individual drive, so yeah, I got to clean up wiring to the T-balancer a little bit as well. There's a lot of extra there, so I'll be cutting off some wires and then re-tying them and re-soldering them in order to clean things up. If I have the gumption, I also want to see the gray on the insides of these. I wouldn't mind spray painting those black just so that it's a little bit cleaner looking at the front. If you get this angle, it looks good, but then if you get this angle, you see the gray. So I'd like to get that fixed up, and I'll think about painting the optical drive just because that's kind of ugly. I think that's pretty much it for now. So until there are more updates.